Okay, hi guys. So I just want to say from the beginning, this is not a hate video. I do not feel judgmental about Bonny and Tim in any way, shape or form, but this is something that I wanted to talk about and something I wanted to address on my channel because this is a topic that's very close to my heart in many different ways. And as you'll see kind of further through the video, something that I can relate to. I can relate to the things that they're going through. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it and just my thoughts on vegans having digestive issues and then going towards more of a meat-based diet in general. So Bonny, you probably won't ever watch this video, but if you do, I just want you to know that I totally sympathize with your situation. I think what you and Tim have gone through sounds horrendous. And I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that the right resources weren't there for you when you needed it. I'm sorry that you felt like you had to do this in order to survive, in order for Tim to not be hospitalized. And so, yeah, just want to say I'm sorry and I sympathize, and I hope that you guys are able to work through this period and come back to a vegan diet. Okay, so I'm putting on a lot of oils today because I know what I'm going to be talking about is heavy and could potentially trigger some of you or make some of you feel upset, and I don't want to make anyone feel upset. I want this to be constructive and loving, and I don't want this to I don't want this to ruffle any feathers, but I do want to be able to talk about this freely and share my opinions on this freely, as this is a public topic of conversation. And since Bonny made the video, it has become public. If she didn't want this to be talked about, then she shouldn't have made the video. So I've been using this oil called Karma just to help collect my thoughts and make sure that I'm just speaking really clearly with you guys. I've also got these Herbal stress support pills, which are basically just L-theanine and things like ashwagandha, which are just really helpful herbs for helping you feel calm and collected, because I want this message to come across clearly. I want my thoughts and opinions to come across clearly, so that you guys get the most out of this video and so that you understand what I'm trying to communicate. So yes, let's get into it. But now moving on to kind of what I think about the situation, my perspective. I do want to say that again, this is just speculation. I do not know Bonny and Tim personally. I do not know the situation in detail. All I know is the information Bonny has shared with us online, and I'm taking that at face value. So obviously there might be something that I'm missing, something that I don't know, something I'm not aware about that Bonny didn't share. But as far as I know, with the information that I have, I'm going to do my best to respond and bring whatever kind of helpful information I can to the situation. So I do think that Bonny and Tim have tried really hard. I do think that they did what was right. They did what they thought they had to. I don't think that this situation, then going back to eating fish and eggs and chicken, has come from a place of not trying. I do think they've tried. I know that they said this was a 4-year-long process. So this is not in any way to, I guess, negate that or dismiss that or say they didn't try hard enough or they didn't just explore all the options. I think to the best of their ability, to the best of the resources that they had available, they explored the options. That's kind of, I guess, the biggest point of my video, is that I don't think they had all the resources that they could have had, and that's really the fault of the way the medical industry is right now. It's the fault of the information that doctors spread right now. It's the fact that, just the unfortunate fact that we don't have, we're only just starting to explore and research IBS and other gut issues in a thorough manner. Up until now, it has been a very misunderstood, under-researched area in health and nutrition, and that's led a lot of people like Bonny and Tim to not be able to have the answers that they need and the help that they need when they need it. Now, I do think there are alternative routes that they could have chosen that I don't think that they were aware of or weren't made aware of. So as a quick recap, Bonny states in her video that eventually, after many years of struggling with these gut issues and these acne issues, and Tim losing more and more weight and getting to the point where he was going to need to be hospitalized, they discovered that the underlying cause of their issues was SIBO, which is a good thing because now they knew what was causing a lot of their issues. However, my main issue is not the fact that they found that they had SIBO. I think that makes perfect sense with all the symptoms that they talked about. Just so you guys know, SIBO is basically this bacterial overgrowth that can happen in your small intestine. Now, your small intestine is not supposed to house that much bacteria, so when you get this bacterial overgrowth, it can cause a lot of issues, including maldigestion and leaky gut and even autoimmune disorders. So it's a big deal and can cause a lot of chronic digestive issues as well as other illnesses. However, my main issue is with the doctor that they spoke to. I know at this point, from what Bonny was saying in the video, they were exhausted, they were tired of doing their own research, which makes total sense. They've been battling with this for a long time, and so they decided to take this doctor's advice and take their word for it, essentially. And I think the way that the doctor went about treating the SIBO was not the only option or the only alternative. One of the big things that Bonny talks about is how fiber was basically a big issue, that the fiber was feeding the bacteria that was causing all their issues, and so they needed to go low fiber in order to actually help heal their gut. Now, this may have been the case, but there are vegan ways to go low fiber, and this is kind of what I want to talk about, is that I don't think animal products is the only way to go low fiber. Now, you might be thinking, Abby, what are you talking about? Like, every plant food has fiber in it. Just look at the grains, look at the vegetables, look at the fruits. And yes, that is true. When you're looking at whole plant foods, yes, they have a lot of fiber, and fiber is normally the healthiest thing we can do for our bodies. It's so good for us. It nourishes our good gut bacteria. It prevents the gut lining in our gut from breaking down and causing proliferation issues. So fiber is normally a good thing. However, in this situation, it was obviously contributing to their issues because their gut was not healthy and functional as it should be. Bonny talks a lot about in the video how they tried every variation of a whole foods plant-based diet, and this is where I think they maybe went wrong, because whole foods have tons of fiber, and you can be plant-based, you can still be vegan without eating a whole foods plant-based diet. Yes, in an ideal world, whole foods plant-based is the healthiest for us. But if you're in a situation like that where, Tim wasn't actually absorbing any nutrients or even calories, like he was losing so much weight, where your health is at risk, then actually going for some of those low fiber foods is going to do a ton of good in that situation. Some of the low fiber foods I'm thinking of are things like white sourdough bread. White sourdough bread, I'm gonna post an image of this so you guys can see for yourselves, but it only contains 1.5 grams of fiber per slice, which is extremely low fiber. I'm also thinking of fake meats, vegan meats like the Beyond Meat burger. This only contains 3 grams of fiber per patty. It's very calorie dense food. It's maybe not the most nutrient dense, but it is very calorie dense, so it'd be perfect for helping someone regain weight in the situation where they're not digesting whole plant foods. But what I think they may have missed or may have not been aware of is that you can get, these egg replacements like Just Egg that are the same basically macro ratio as a regular egg, except without the cholesterol, and they have 0 fiber. They actually taste just like egg, and I know taste wasn't the component in this situation. It was a health choice, not a taste choice, but these Just Egg replacements are so helpful. They are so similar to an egg, just without all the cholesterol that's going to cause other health issues like heart disease. So I just wonder why they didn't look to incorporating egg replacements instead of using real eggs that are ultimately going to make their conditions worse because of the animal protein, and also potentially cause other diseases like heart disease and diabetes from all the cholesterol. There are also other like really low fiber foods such as canned fruits and canned vegetables. A lot of canned soups are low in fiber because the vegetables are so cooked that a lot of the fiber is broken down. So these are also great food alternatives when you have to be low fiber and vegan. Here's also a website that lists a whole bunch of plant-based low fiber foods. Now, yes, this is a restricted way of eating, but these people are already on restrictive diets. They're already restricting a lot of foods because of their food sensitivities. So why not be on a restrictive diet for a short period of time that's going to help heal your gut, and that is, most importantly, that's still vegan? Because I know that Bonny and Tim were hurting over the fact that they had to start eating eggs and fish and chicken again. I know that they didn't want to do that from an ethical perspective, from a planet health perspective. I know that they were very much passionate about the vegan message, and so this is a great alternative for someone who doesn't want to go back on their ethics, who doesn't want to cause damage to the planet, who doesn't want to end up with heart disease, but still has to eat low fiber for a time. Now you may be thinking, Abby, like, what do you know? You haven't been through what they've been through. And that's true in Tim's case. I have not been nearly hospitalized from gut health issues. However, I do relate a lot to Bonny's symptoms. I have been struggling with IBS, whatever that means, for about 4 years. And I have had times where it's been very debilitating, where I've been in such pain that I wasn't able to leave the house, that I wasn't able to do things that I would normally do. And so I do know what it's like to have, at times, intense digestive issues. And I have found that there are other ways to manage your symptoms besides going back to eating meat, that you can use or try in the meantime while you're discovering what the root issue actually is. Now, I wish more information about IBS was more commonly known. It is, again, like I said, an under-researched, under-talked about area. But I recently discovered a channel called Gogiman. And if you guys haven't watched his channel, check him out. I'm gonna leave a link to his videos in the description and also at the end of this video, because he has some awesome information. He's actually getting certified as a nutritionalist. He's studying a master's in nutrition right now. And then next year he will be studying a PhD in nutritional science. So he's getting education. He's got a lot of good credentials and good knowledge on the topic of gut health. And I found his videos to be super, super helpful for me so far. And he talks a lot about SIBO, and I'm gonna link some of his videos below. So he talks about how a lot of these vegans, when they go back to eating meat, it relieves their symptoms because of the low fiber, but eventually it actually makes their symptoms worse. So that's something to really consider. The other thing he's talked a lot about is the way that you can actually deal with SIBO. So he recommends going on herbal antibiotics and then also using diet to manage your symptoms while getting rid of SIBO with the antibiotic. Now, herbal antibiotics are a lot different to the regular kind of antibiotics. They're a lot less harsh on your digestive system. They're a lot more of a natural alternative, and you guys know I'm all about the natural way. I know that Tim was trying regular antibiotics and he was on them for a very long period of time. He was on them for a whole year, which is far too long to be on regular antibiotics. Not so much that the antibiotic solution that they tried was wrong, but I think that it was probably way too harsh for way too long period of time. Ways you can help manage your symptoms and help your gut heal while taking these herbal antibiotics is to go on a low FODMAP diet and also a low oxalate diet. Bonny and Tim did try the low FODMAP diet, but what I'm wondering is, I'm pretty certain from her video that they were not trying that alongside herbal antibiotics at the same time, because they didn't know that the underlying cause was SIBO. So I'm wondering if they had have tried the low FODMAP and maybe a low oxalate diet as well alongside herbal antibiotics, whether the combination of the two would have really made a difference. This is just speculation, but I think that it could have been a reason that maybe the low FODMAP didn't work out so well for them at the time. I currently eat a relatively low FODMAP diet. It's mostly low FODMAP. I occasionally can include higher FODMAP foods into my diet, and it does help. It doesn't completely get rid of the symptoms. I can still get really bad flare-ups, but it definitely at times can be helpful. And I am not purposely doing the low FODMAP diet forever, but I am doing it for now to manage my symptoms while I work out what the root issue of my gut issues is. Other thing that I've used that I found extremely effective in managing my symptoms has been peppermint essential oil. If you guys have not tried peppermint oil for gut issues, it's incredible. Dr. Michael Gregor actually talks a lot about peppermint oil. I will also link his video on peppermint oil and IBS for you guys to watch. And so I found this really helpful. There have been times when I've been, sorry if this is too much detail, but there have been times when I've been on the toilet all day and in complete agony, and the only thing that's helped is putting peppermint oil on my stomach and drinking it internally. And within about half an hour, I was able to get off the toilet and go in about the rest of my day. So that has been effective for me, and it's not a long-term solution again, but it's something that can help manage the symptoms and reduce the gut inflammation. The last thing I want to say just about, I guess, gut issues and helping manage symptoms is the use of apple cider vinegar. Now I know apple cider, I cannot say that word, apple cider vinegar. Thank you. I know the use of apple cider vinegar is often claimed as like a cure oil, and I cannot speak English. A cure oil. Do you guys have issues saying that? Maybe it's just because I talk about essential oils so much, but I want to say a cure oil, but it's not, it's a cure oil. Okay, anyways, moving on. I know that it can be claimed as like this magic potion. I don't think it is that at all, but I do think it can be really helpful for raising your stomach acidity. Without high stomach acidity, you don't digest your food properly, your gallbladder doesn't produce enough bile, which can then cause food to go undigested into your small intestine and even lead to things like SIBO. So I learned a lot of this information through the Gogiman channel. That's why I let you know to check it out. And I have actually started taking 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before each meal. Now, so far I have found it's actually helped a lot just in breaking down my food better. Again, I don't think it's cured all my issues, but it has really helped in helping me break down my food. And I think part of my issues could be that my stomach doesn't produce enough acid. So this is just, again, a lot of speculation, but I really want to share my thoughts because I think that with all these vegans having digestive issues and then deciding that the vegan diet is not working for them, I just think that there's always a route. I think a vegan diet is what we were designed to eat. It's what our bodies were designed to eat. And one thing I do want to say is that Bonny talks a lot in her video about how we're all different. We are not all different. We are all the same in our basic biology. We all need plants and we all get sick when we eat animal foods. Now, I understand what she was saying in terms of illnesses. Yes, we all have, we can all deal with different illnesses, and our genetics can play into what illnesses we're more likely to have. So there are those differences, and people's microflora can be out of whack and other people's microflora can be healthy. There's those minutiae details. But that doesn't mean that we need to just eat a completely different diet to the rest of our species. We actually all are gonna thrive and help heal ourselves on a plant-based diet. And Gogiman actually does a video all about why the only way to heal your gut is on a vegan diet. So I'll also be posting that below. Gotta get those plugs in for my fellow vegan channels. But yeah, seriously guys, like I just think that this is such an incredible lifestyle for the animals, for the planet, and for our health. And I don't want people giving up on this way of living because they think they have no other option. There is a way to manage your gut health and heal your gut and still stay vegan. Even if you have to eat a weird restrictive low fiber diet for a while, or a weird low FODMAP diet for a while, it's better than eating animals, which causes so much death and pain and suffering to those creatures, that also contributes to the downfall of this planet that we're living on, that causes the pollution of the air that we're all breathing, that we're all sharing, and that ultimately can lead to your ill health and your death. So I know that sounds dramatic, but it's just the truth. And so I just want to say there are options out there. There are ways that you can deal with these issues on a plant-based diet. And so if you're struggling with digestive issues, I just want to say I feel you, I understand, I sympathize, but know there are ways, there are alternatives, and I hope that I can be of service and of help to you in your gut health journey. That's about all from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts about vegans and digestive health. So feel free to comment below, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and of course hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I make a video. So for now, goodbye. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay vegan, eat some delicious vegan food, and try and educate yourself. Educate, educate, educate. The more education that we have on this planet, the better everyone's gonna be, the more well off we're all gonna be, the less situations that we'll have like this where people feel like their only option is to eat animals. So, peace, love you all, see you next time.